And you talked about a career, and that had a dimension of time. And certainly something I think we all aspire to do is grow and learn over time. Can
Right.
you explain for the audience the difference between and the importance of both of these axes in this growth model?
Well, the reason I did this, Andrew, early in the book is I feel as though just in reading articles and really the research and discovery process that I undertook to write the book, there were many articles and many opinions that conflated the two. And the expectation, which I feel is unrealistic, that you would achieve, some form of Zen or nirvana when your individual life purpose was aligned with the purpose of the organization.
Jay asked, can a person who has a job selling cornflakes be connected to the company's purpose, and how?
If you're selling cornflakes, depend on the organization. That's Kellogg. So it would depend on Kellogg's organizational purpose and the actual purpose of the job role. But let's say the purpose of the job role has to do with developing or creating or offering a quality product, why then you have an awful lot to do with that, depending on where you are in the process of manufacturing, of distributing, of marketing. Cornflakes, you can always be connected to the single highest priority of the job role, which in this case has to do with quality, which may also be aligned with the core value of the company.
I'm kind of curious when I think about HR, talent acquisition, recruiting, talent development, succession plan, the job functions, that job knowledge, job skills, we're really good at honing in on. And I'm just wondering if when we develop new programs, do we do a really good job making sure that the job purpose is included and framed properly and connected appropriately? I just don't know. I'm kind of curious if others are doing this successfully.
I think it depends on the role. I don't know if it's done consistently, Dirk. If you look at how a job is laid out in a job description, there's usually a summary at the beginning that speaks to kind of overall what the role is and the purpose of the role. Some do a better job at getting to this job essence piece than others. And then you get down into the details of the job functions.
Can I just say that I think it's also the organization, right? The United States military has a very different way that functions create job essence versus higher education.
One of the things that I was really impressed and picked up years ago when I was on site is that their employees see their products when they go to the hospital because a loved one or relatives in the hospital or themselves. So they see their products, their work, saving lives of their loved ones.
One of the stories I heard, and I don't know if it's a backstory or not, but it's stories I heard about a medical device maker actually bringing the patients who recovered by using their devices to the organization so the employees can actually see the end result of their product.
Very powerful. Jay, you also had a nice comment in the chat, saying that another good question during this conversation might be a manager or supervisor asking the employee, what can I do to help you understand the connection between your personal values and the job values? Sounds like a good example of another way to kind of guide the conversation, but keep it centered around the employee's perspective.
In that way, you can listen more for the employee's response. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but when you ask supervisors how often they give feedback, it's just the reverse of what you just said, the employees receiving feedback. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but it's interesting that supervisors think they give a lot of feedback. Employees don't think they get a lot of feedback.